While the entire Formula One world spent this summer break arguing about penalties, contracts, and championship math, George Russell quietly did something that had absolutely nothing to do with any of it. No press conference. No team statement. No carefully worded PR release. Just a single Instagram post that turned out to be one of the biggest personal moments of his entire life. And once you understand the timing of when he chose to share it, this story becomes a lot more interesting than a simple celebrity announcement. Let's set the scene properly, because context matters here. Formula One entered its mandatory summer shutdown, 2 full weeks completely away from racing, testing, media obligations, and the relentless grind of paddock life that defines a driver's entire season. For most drivers, that break simply means rest, private training, maybe a few personal appearances away from the cameras. For Russell, it became the exact moment he chose to share news that had nothing to do with lap times, points totals, or championship standings whatsoever. Russell announced his engagement to his longtime partner, Carmen Montero Mundt, sharing the news in a joint Instagram post featuring photos of the couple at a romantic, candlelit dinner by the sea. The caption itself was refreshingly simple, just 2 emojis, a ring and a white heart, letting the images speak entirely for themselves rather than any lengthy public statement explaining the moment. For those unfamiliar with Montero Mundt, she's been a consistent, supportive presence at Grand Prix weekends for years now, regularly spotted in the paddock supporting Russell throughout race weekends. Professionally, she works in finance for an investment company, and more recently branched out to launch her own skincare brand called Barriers. This isn't a relationship that suddenly materialized in tabloid headlines out of nowhere. It's one that's quietly grown alongside Russell's entire Formula One career, largely kept away from the intense media spotlight that follows almost every other aspect of his professional life. Here's why the actual timing of this announcement deserves real attention beyond just the personal celebration itself. Russell is currently navigating one of the more genuinely complicated stretches of his professional career. Despite driving for Mercedes, a team currently holding a commanding lead in the Constructors' Championship, Russell himself has had a noticeably trickier season on an individual level, actually sitting behind Ferrari's Lewis Hamilton in the driver's standings after a couple of forced retirements and a costly, frustrating penalty situation back at Monaco. His own teammate, 19-year-old Kimi Antonelli, has been the one generating the vast majority of Mercedes' championship points and headlines throughout this entire season. So in a season where Russell has had to watch a teenage teammate genuinely outshine him in the results column, while also absorbing the kind of retirements and penalties that chip away at any professional driver's confidence over time, choosing this exact moment, right at the summer break, to share this kind of deeply personal, genuinely joyful news says something meaningful about maintaining perspective during a difficult professional stretch. It's also worth noting Russell hasn't gone quiet on the racing side of things either, even during this personal moment. Just before this announcement, he'd sent a pointed, public warning to his own Mercedes team, cautioning against complacency in their title fight against a resurgent Ferrari squad, despite the team's commanding points lead heading into the second half of the season. That specific combination, staying sharp and vocal about the ongoing championship fight, while simultaneously sharing one of the single biggest personal milestones of his life, paints a genuine picture of a driver who's learned to compartmentalize incredibly well under sustained professional pressure. There's a broader pattern worth recognizing here too, one that genuinely extends beyond Russell as an individual case. Formula One drivers live remarkably public professional lives. Every practice session, every press conference, every single penalty decision scrutinized in real time by millions of fans and journalists across the globe simultaneously. But moments like this engagement announcement serve as a genuine reminder that underneath the racing suits and constant team radio communications, these are still real people navigating relationships, personal milestones, and genuine happiness largely on their own terms, choosing exactly when and how they want to share those private moments with the wider world. Fan and fellow driver reaction to the news was overwhelmingly warm and supportive, with congratulations flooding in from across the paddock and the broader Formula One community, a genuinely nice reminder that even within a sport this fiercely, relentlessly competitive, real goodwill between rivals and colleagues still exists when it actually matters most. So what does this actually mean heading into the second half of the season? Does Russell carry this genuine personal happiness into a stronger, more consistent run of results as Mercedes continues trying to fend off Ferrari's ongoing championship charge? Does this moment of personal joy help reset his overall mentality after a season that's included real professional frustration running alongside Mercedes' broader team success? And does this remind fans, even just briefly, that there's genuinely more to these drivers' lives than championship points, penalty decisions, and stewards' rulings? Let me know in the comments below what's your honest reaction to Russell's engagement news, and do you think personal happiness like this genuinely translates into better on-track performance heading forward? Subscribe for more content like this, because whether it's happening on the track or completely off it, this season keeps finding entirely new stories worth telling.